Disgracing Amaka in public was Chidi's specialty until the day he met Eunice's herbal mixture. That day, he just knew he had met his master. Hello friends. Welcome to my channel. Before we start, please like this video and subscribe. Also, please let us know in the comments where you are watching from. New York, London, South Africa, or Jamaica. We want to know. Before marriage, Amaka used to tell her friends that Chidi was the sweetest man alive. And truly, he was kind, attentive, and generous with his time. His only flaw, the only behavior she prayed would disappear with adulthood, was his habit of making small jokes at her expense whenever someone complimented her. However, she didn't take it seriously, as she thought he would change over time. During the dating phase, she told herself, "It's harmless. Maybe he's shy and just using the act to build his confidence. Maybe he thinks it's cute. Once we get married, he will stop." But marriage did not cure Chidi. In fact, marriage poured petrol on the fire. It started 2 weeks after their wedding. They went to a church Thanksgiving service, her first as a new bride. Amaka wore a soft peach gown that glowed under the morning sun. 3 women from the choir approached her. "Ah, Sister Amaka, you look absolutely beautiful." Amaka smiled, ready to enjoy her compliment like a civilized human being until Chidi, standing beside her like a predator preparing to attack, murmured loud enough for all to hear. It's today," she tried. "Oh, if you saw her yesterday, I almost asked her if she was fighting her reflection." Amaka's smile froze. The women laughed. Amaka looked down and said nothing. She waved it. Then another day, they were at a friend's small dinner gathering. Nothing fancy, just 6 couples around a long table, soft music in the background, everyone talking and laughing. Amaka looked beautiful in a simple black dress. For once, she was actually enjoying herself. Then someone made the mistake of saying, "Amaka, you look so calm and gentle. You must be a very peaceful wife." Before Amaka could even breathe, Chidi jumped in. This one isn't peaceful. Wait till she sleeps. Her snore starts small, then starts shaking like a generator that is running out of fuel. Even Napa will be confused." Laughter exploded around the table. Amaka's smile evaporated. She stared down at her plate, cheeks burning. Another woman tried to defend her gently. "No, she doesn't look like someone who snores loudly." Chidi laughed even louder. "Come to our house one night. You'll understand why I always sleep with earpiece." Then the laughter got louder. Amaka wished the ground would just open up and swallow her. But he didn't stop there. When the waiter served drinks, one curious man jokingly asked, "Chidi, so she snores like that after a long day?" And Chidi, as if possessed by the spirit of disgrace, replied proudly, "Long day? My brother, even on night's way, do husband and wife things. She will still snore like a generator. That one doesn't affect her power supply at all." The table burst again. Some covered their mouths, some shook their heads. Amaka froze completely. She felt something inside her drop, something small and important. Everyone was laughing, but she wasn't breathing. And Chidi, enjoying the attention, continued like an MC warming up a comedy show. In fact, one time after we finished, she fell asleep immediately and started snoring. I just looked at her and said, "So, this is all the appreciation I get?" Amaka quietly folded her hands under the table so no one would see them shaking. She couldn't even look up, not once. She just stared at her plate, feeling naked in a room full of people who now knew things they had no right knowing. Her private life has been reduced to entertainment. And for the first time since she married him, she wondered if she had made a mistake so big it would take her years to undo. The ride home felt like punishment. Amaka didn't say a word. She sat with her hands on her lap, looking out the window as if the night sky was more comforting than her own husband. Chidi, still half smiling from all the attention he'd gotten, didn't notice the silence at first, but the closer they got home, the heavier the air became. When they entered the bedroom, Amaka walked straight to the wardrobe and began removing her earrings slowly, one by one. No anger, no shouting, just a quiet, frightening calm. Chidi loosened his tie and chuckled. Babe, you're still angry about that small joke. Amaka didn't turn. Small joke? You call that a small joke? Amaka smacked. Yes, nah. Everybody laughed, even the women. Finally, she faced him. Her face wasn't angry. It was hurt. A deep, tired hurt. Chidi, she began, her voice steady. Do you know you told 10 people tonight about my snoring? Do you know you told complete strangers about our private nights, our bedroom? He shrugged. They're married couples. They understand. Amaka laughed. Not the happy kind. A thin, sharp, painful laugh. Understand what? That my husband enjoys humiliating me. Chidi's smile faded. She stepped closer, her eyes glassy but controlled. Do you realize you made everyone think I'm some noisy, irresponsible woman at home? I didn't mean it like that. You never mean it, she cut in. You just talk. Anything that enters your mouth comes out. My flaws, my habits, my private moments. Nothing is sacred to you. He scratched his head, defensive now. But it's not that serious. Not serious. Amaka repeated slowly. Tonight, you told people things that weren't their business. You made them laugh at me. You didn't protect me. You exposed me. Chidi's shoulders dropped a little. Amaka took a breath, steady but trembling. Do you know I couldn't even lift my head at that table? I felt small, like I was standing there without clothes on, like you stripped me of every dignity I had. He swallowed hard. You're my husband, Chidi, she whispered. Your job is to protect me, not display me. But after all her explanations and all her tears, Chidi simply yawned, stretched his legs, and said, Amaka, you overthink things. It's not that deep. You're too emotional. Sleep. Just like that. Amaka stared at him, unbelieving that the man she married could be so insensitive. The man didn't even pretend to understand her pain. He pulled the duvet over himself, hummed a small tune, and fell asleep as if he had not just humiliated his wife in public. For the first few minutes, she lay beside him, furious. Then the anger turned into disappointment. She cried herself to sleep, wondering when it would all end. 1 month later, Amaka had been looking forward to her family reunion. Her people were warm, dramatic, loud in a good way, the kind of relatives who hugged too tightly and asked the same questions every year. She wore a simple, fitted gown that shaped her gently. Nothing loud, just decent and beautiful. Her cousin Annabelle spotted her first. Amaka, you're adding a small weight. See your hips? Marriage is feeding you well. People smiled. It was a normal compliment. Harmless, affectionate. But Chidi heard the compliment and his brain automatically downloaded nonsense. Before Amaka could even say thank you, he clapped his hands loudly and shouted, hips. My people, please don't be deceived. It's not hipso. This woman just farts up and down in the house. The entire compound went silent. Amaka stopped breathing. Annabelle's mouth hung wide open. Chidi continued as he adjusted his belt confidently like someone delivering breaking news. I'm telling you, once she sits down on the sofa, pee. In the kitchen, pee. In the bedroom, pee. Everywhere, I have suffered. Laughter erupted. Some tried to hold it in, some didn't bother. Amaka felt heat climb up her neck. She whispered, Chidi, what are you saying? I don't even do that. But he didn't stop. My in-laws, I'm not lying, he said, raising a hand like someone taking an oath. Last week, I told her to stand up from the bed because I thought a rat had died under the bed. The compound scattered. People were laughing so hard that a plate nearly fell. Amaka stood there, frozen, eyes watering, unable to lift her head. The shame felt physical. Her mother walked by, confused. What happened? Chidi answered proudly. Nothing. I'm just telling them Amaka is now a walking soundtrack in the house. More laughter. Amaka wished the ground would open and swallow her. She felt exposed, mocked for something that wasn't even true. Her own husband had turned her into a joke in front of her blood relatives. She couldn't even speak. She just lowered her gaze, blinking fast so tears wouldn't fall. For the rest of the reunion, she barely smiled. Every time someone looked at her, she wondered if they were imagining nonsense because of Chidi's mouth. Amaka held her composure all through the reunion, pretending nothing was wrong. She laughed when people laughed, forced smiles, served food, and hugged relatives. But inside, she was breaking piece by piece. The moment she found a chance, she slipped away quietly and entered her mother's room. The moment the door closed behind her, the tears she'd been holding back spilled freely. She sat on the edge of the bed, covered her face with both hands, and let out a silent cry that shook her shoulders. Her mother wasn't inside. She had gone to the kitchen. But Amaka was grateful. She didn't want questions. She didn't want pity. She just wanted air. Not long after, the door creaked open, and her younger sister Eunice entered with a plate of small chops in her hand. She froze when she saw Amaka crying. Jesus, Amaka, what happened? Amaka quickly wiped her face. Nothing. I'm fine. Eunice dropped the plate and rushed to sit beside her. That idiot has said something again. I've been hearing whispers outside. What did he say this time? Eunice asked. Just forget about it. Amaka said. No way, Eunice insisted. Tell me, because if I go outside and hear one more person gossiping, I might drag him by his ear myself. Amaka inhaled shakily. He said I fart everywhere. Eunice blinked. He said what? Amaka nodded, cheeks burning again from the memory. Right after, Annabelle complimented me. He just shouted it in front of everybody, loud, confident, like it was the funniest thing ever. Eunice's jaw tightened. That man is mad. Properly mad. Amaka let out a weak laugh, then shook her head. The worst part. It's not even true. Not even close. He just says anything that comes to his mind without even thinking it through. If someone compliments me, he must cancel it with something embarrassing. Eunice frowned deeply. But in the house, he doesn't act like that. No, Amaka whispered. That's the painful part. Inside the house, he doesn't even joke like that. He doesn't insult me. He doesn't mock me. He only does it outside. Only when people are watching. Like it makes him feel like a superstar. Eunice hissed. Superstar. Superstar for whom? He's making you look stupid every time. Amaka wiped her face again. I told him. I begged him. He said I'm too emotional. He said I should stop taking things too seriously. Eunice's eyes hardened with the kind of anger that burns slow but deep. That's it, she said quietly. I've had enough. Amaka looked at her. Eunice, please. Eunice cut in, standing up with purpose. Amaka, you've endured enough shame from this man. If he cannot respect his wife, then he will learn to respect embarrassment. Amaka blinked. Eunice, what are you going to do? Eunice cracked her knuckles dramatically and smiled in that mischievous, dangerous way that meant something evil was coming. Don't worry, I'm not touching him. I'm not shouting. I'm not fighting. She leaned closer and whispered, I'm going to teach your husband a lesson he will never forget. And I won't even break a sweat. Amaka's tears paused. Her heart beat once, twice, because when Eunice said she would handle someone, it was always unforgettable. A few minutes later, Eunice stepped out of the room like a woman on a mission. Amaka wiped her tears, wondering what her sister was planning. Eunice didn't shout, didn't confront Chidi. She simply walked to the backyard, made a phone call, and said, Uncle James, please bring that your natural herbal mixture drink. Yes, that one that clears stomach and makes people purge gas. No, not diarrhea, just farting. Exactly. Bring it. Within an hour, a small plastic bottle wrapped in brown paper arrived. Eunice collected it with the seriousness of someone receiving classified information. She walked back into their mother's room, closed the door quietly, and handed Amaka the bottle. Amaka frowned. What is this? Eunice smiled. A harmless body pain herbal mixture. Completely safe. People drink it every day. But she lifted a finger. If you give it to a man who eats nonsense and sleeps like a log, it will awaken his stomach to reality, Amaka blinked. Meaning, Eunice whispered, side effect gas. Nothing else. No pain, no sickness, just wind in high definition. Amaka's eyes widened. Eunice.
What?
Eunice shrugged. Is it not harmless? Will it kill him? Will it disgrace him? And honestly, he deserves a small public trumpet practice. Amaka tried not to laugh. You're unbelievable. No, I'm your sister, Eunice corrected. And this is the safest payback on earth. She explained the plan clearly. Tell him it is an immune booster and helps men stay strong. If you tell him it's for body pain, he won't drink it because he believes he's as strong as a lion. She rolled her eyes. Amaka chuckled. Eunice continued, you only give him a small cup. Not every day. Only when you people have an important occasion, or when he has a meeting he cannot afford to mess up. Amaka raised a brow. So he will fart. Eunice grinned boldly. My dear, he will compose the national anthem from his stomach. And the beauty is that it is not harmful. It's natural. Amaka stared at the bottle, and for the first time in months, she felt hope. Not evil, justice. Finally, she whispered, Eunice, are you sure this is safe? Eunice placed a hand on her chest. As safe as drinking pap, the only thing that will suffer is his pride. Amaka looked at the bottle again. A slow smile spread across her face. For once, Chidi's mouth wouldn't be the only thing embarrassing somebody. Exactly 1 week later, Amaka finally got the perfect opportunity. Chidi had an important community meeting to attend, the kind where he loved showing himself, shaking hands, laughing loudly, and behaving like he was the chairman of the event. He ironed his shirt twice, polished his shoes until he could see his reflection, and sprayed enough perfume to confuse mosquitoes for miles. Amaka watched him from their wardrobe mirror, arms folded. Today was the day. He buttoned his collar with pride, humming a tune. That was when she quietly opened the drawer and brought out Eunice's herbal bottle. Her heartbeat quickened, not from fear, but from sweet, calculated anticipation. She stepped closer. Baby, drink this, she said softly. Chidi froze. What's that? Immune booster, she replied, offering the cup with innocent eyes. You've been stressed lately. It will help your system stay strong. The moment she said strong, his ego inflated like a balloon. Oh, something like men's vitality tonic, he asked proudly, chest rising. Amaka nodded gently. Exactly. Without question, he grabbed the cup and swallowed the drink like a soldier proving a point. Bitter, he coughed. It works fast, she said calmly, and she turned away so he wouldn't see the tiny smile tugging her lips. 30 minutes later, they left the house together. Amaka locked the door, adjusted her handbag, and got into the passenger seat beside him. She even squeezed his arm affectionately as he drove, humming confidently. By the time they arrived at the meeting venue, a large town hall with rows of plastic chairs, Chidi was in full politician mode. He bounced around, greeting people, laughing unnecessarily, patting men on the back like he was distributing scholarships. Amaka followed him inside and quietly took a seat at the back, her legs crossed elegantly, her expression neutral, her spirit waiting. 5 minutes into the meeting, the herbal mix cleared its throat inside Chidi's stomach. Chidi shifted in his chair. 10 minutes later, he adjusted again, this time sharply, and rubbed his stomach like it suddenly belonged to someone else. 15 minutes later, he looked around suspiciously, as if the air itself had misbehaved. Amaka lowered her eyelids, hiding her smile. Then, pee, prop, clear, loud, confident. People turned in slow motion. A man sitting in front of Chidi stared at Chidi like he had heard a prophecy. Chidi froze. Another trumpet followed. Pua, prop. Someone coughed to cover laughter. Someone else shifted their chair away like they had seen danger. The chairman stopped speaking. Is everything all right there? Amaka kept her face cold, calm, innocent, but inside pure celebration. Chidi tried to act confused. Must be the chair. Maybe the chair is making noise. Immediately, the chair produced another violent soundtrack. This one had bass, soprano, and echo. People scattered. A woman covered her nose dramatically. A man whispered, who offended this one's stomach? Chidi's ears turned red. His dignity melted like ice under the Lagos sun. Amaka rose slowly from her seat and walked outside. Seconds later, Chidi tiptoed out behind her like a man escaping from police custody. When she reached the car, he tapped her shoulder weakly. Amaka, something is wrong with me. She held his hand gently. No, baby. Nothing is wrong. It's harmless. Don't be too emotional. His own words sweetly returned for the first time since they married. Chidi kept quiet. 2 weeks after the legendary community meeting Disgrace, Eunice had her baby naming ceremony, and the entire family showed up early, like they came to collect their pension. The canopy stretched across the compound, the white chairs lined up neatly, children running around with balloons, women forming small gossip circles, and men at the back arguing about football as if FIFA sent them. Amaka wore a simple mint green gown, elegant, effortless, beautiful. Nobody needed to tell her she looked good. The mirror had already confirmed it. But beneath her calm smile, she knew one thing. Today was phase 2. That morning, while Chidi got ready, wearing his white kaftan and cap with the confidence of a man contesting for counselor, Amaka walked into the room carrying a tray. Chidi was adjusting his cap in the mirror when he saw her reflection. My love, she said sweetly. Drink your immune booster. Chidi turned proudly. Yes, very important. Naming ceremonies can be stressful. He collected the cup and gulped it in one heroic swallow. Still bitter, he muttered. Amaka smiled softly. It means it's powerful, Chidi puffed out his chest. Good. A man must be strong at all times. Amaka nodded. Oh, you will be strong today. They left the house together and drove to Chioma's place. The street was full. Cars parked everywhere, music playing, neighbors squeezing in like stockfish in nylon. The moment Amaka stepped down from the car, people cheered. Auntie Amaka, fine woman, welcome. Eunice came rushing with her baby tied to her chest and hugged Amaka tightly. But before pulling away, she leaned into Amaka's ear and whispered, Hope you carried phase 2. Amaka whispered back with a satisfied smile. He has already drank it. Eunice almost burst out laughing on the spot, but pretended to cough instead. They walked in together, Eunice adjusting the baby cloth on her shoulder, while Amaka held her small purse with the calmness of someone waiting for divine judgment to land on a target. Chidi, unaware of the storm brewing inside him, greeted everyone with loud confidence as usual. My people make una shift small. Chairman done come. Amaka simply found a seat with Chioma at the women's corner and waited. Phase 2 had begun. The ceremony began with prayers and blessings for the baby. The pastor finished. People clapped, and the MC invited everyone to settle down for food. That was when Chidi started shifting on his chair. At first, small movement. Tiny discomfort. He placed a hand on his stomach and frowned. 5 minutes later, he shifted again. Another frown. Amaka pretended not to notice. Eunice noticed everything. Then it happened. Pua. Chirp. Uninvited. Annoyingly loud. Several people turned immediately. One auntie removed her glasses. Who is doing a generator warm-up near me? Chidi sat frozen, his soul leaving his body. Amaka coughed into her palm to hide her smile. Eunice bit her lips so she wouldn't scream with laughter. Then came the second one. This one was longer, more confident. It carried Chidi's surname. 2 men stood up on instinct. One looked under his chair. Another shifted 4 seats away. A child shouted, Mommy, something is smelling. The mother whispered loudly, Cover your nose, my dear. Chidi wiped his forehead. Sweat everywhere. He leaned toward Amaka desperately and whispered, Amaka, my stomach. My stomach is misbehaving again. Amaka gave him the same gentle tone he always used to humiliate her. It's harmless. People are laughing. Don't be too emotional. Eunice nearly fainted from joy. Then the final blast came. The boss level. Pura. Prop. Prop. The canopy became silent for 3 seconds. Then the entire place erupted. What is this? Who offended this one? Who brought a trumpet to a naming ceremony? Cover the baby. Eunice's newborn even made a tiny cry, like the sound offended him personally. Chidi grabbed his cap, grabbed what was left of his dignity, and ran out of the compound like a thief, pursued by the community vigilante. Eunice whispered to Amaka, "Sis, this revenge is sweeter than cold zobo." Amaka wiped a tear of laughter. By the time they reached home, he looked like someone who had fought a spiritual battle and lost. Amaka walked in quietly, removed her earrings, and placed her handbag on the table if nothing unusual had happened. But Chidi stormed in behind her with fire in his eyes. "Amaka," he said, voice low but shaking, "what was in that immune booster you gave me?" She didn't even turn. She removed her shoes calmly. "Herbal tonic," she replied simply. "Herbal what?" He fired back. "That thing disgraced me in front of everybody. Everybody. I was almost on the floor crying today." Amaka finally faced him, her expression calm, unfazed, almost bored. "And so?" Chidi blinked. "And so? Amaka, are you normal? What did you give me? Why would you do that to me?" Amaka folded her arms. "Because you deserved it." Chidi froze. Amaka stepped closer. Not shouting, not shaking, not emotional, just controlled, deadly calm. "Every single time we go out, you embarrass me," she said. "You mock me, expose me, and make me look senseless in front of people." His mouth opened, but she raised a finger. "Let me finish." Chidi kept quiet. "You talk about me like I'm a joke. You reduce me to a piece of entertainment for others to laugh at. You strip my dignity publicly and expect me to smile." Her voice was steady, sharp, not a drop of fear. "And when I told you it hurt me," she continued, "you said I'm too emotional. You said it's harmless." She gestured at him. "So congratulations, Chidi. Today, you experienced harmless embarrassment." Chidi swallowed hard. "That was not harmless. I suffered." Amaka smiled slowly, but was satisfied. "Oh, suddenly embarrassment is painful. Suddenly being reduced publicly is not funny. Suddenly it's not a small joke." He looked away. Amaka looked him in the eyes. "I didn't poison you. I didn't harm you. I didn't give you anything dangerous. Just something natural that made you pass gas the same way your words make me look foolish in front of people." She stood up slowly, walked to the dressing table, and arranged her hair with calm, sure hands. "Amaka," he said again, voice cracking slightly this time. I'm sorry," she lifted a brow. "For what exactly?" He took a deep breath. "For making you feel small," he said. "For talking too much, for turning your dignity into entertainment, for not listening when you told me you were hurting." He swallowed hard and stepped closer. "I didn't know how bad it was until today, until I became the joke, and I didn't like it. Not one bit." He shook his head slowly. "I didn't know my words were cutting you. I thought I was being funny. I was wrong." Amaka said nothing, but she didn't walk away either. So he continued, softer, humbler. "I promise. I will never do it again. Not in public, not in private, not anywhere." He took another shaky breath. "You're my wife, Amaka. You deserve respect. You deserve protection. I failed at that. I didn't know, but now I do." She finally met his eyes, and for the first time he saw something shift there. Not forgiveness yet, but recognition, understanding that he truly got it now. He took one slow step forward. "I'm sorry," he repeated. "And I swear, never again." Amaka looked at him for a long, quiet moment. Then she nodded once, small, controlled, but enough to show she had heard him. It wasn't a full reconciliation, but it was a beginning, a crack where healing could enter. And for the first time, Chidi understood exactly what it meant to hold his wife's honor like something fragile, something he needed both hands to protect. Moral lesson: never use your partner as a punchline, especially in public. That small joke you think is harmless can dig into them in ways you'll never fully understand. It can shrink their confidence, make them feel unseen, or make them dread stepping outside with you. A partner who truly loves you will protect your dignity in every room, in every conversation, no matter who is watching. Love protects. Love shields. Respect is choosing your partner's peace over the audience's amusement. Because the moment you allow people to laugh at your partner, something small and quiet starts dying between you. And once that trust cracks, it's never the same again. A good partner lifts you up, never belittles you for entertainment. If this story touched you, let us know in the comments and tell us where in the world you're watching from. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more emotional, dramatic, and unforgettable stories. Until next time, stay kind, stay strong, and keep watching.